So that little cadence was called Triple R, or Randy's Radical Rhythms. And this is our drumline class. We meet fourth period every day. And I wanted to point out that this is a pretty young group. We have 2 freshmen. I think we have 8 to 10 sophomores, 1 junior who could not be with us because he's ill, and 1 senior. And many of them are brand new players. Like they're brand new to band, or they're brand new to percussion. Like we have a trombone player, we have a tuba player. So it's quite a mix. Some of the students started on percussion, but a good number of them did not. So the next selection we're going to play for you, I think, what's this one? Is called Panther. Now we have a kitty cat theme tonight, so we're going to start our kitty cat theme with Panther. So there's a fellow named Randall Standridge, and he writes a lot of band and orchestra music, but interestingly, he also writes some percussion cadences, and this particular one is called Mean Muggin'. All right, so you saw this tall young man join us. This is Guy Roddy, and Guy is our one and only senior in the class. And I want to publicly thank Guy because he is like my right-hand man. I do a lot, like I rehearse the group a lot. He does the warm-ups, and then he works with the students a lot on technique, because that's not something that I'm really strong at. I'm really good at rehearsing them and getting them to play music, but he'll go through and make sure, now your stick's too high when you do that, and oh, you need to hit in the center of the drum, and he's really good about keeping an eye on them when I'm rehearsing the group. So I really appreciate his efforts with us. The next thing we're going to play is called Chili Cheese Dog, and this has been kind of our nemesis because it's got a lot of what we call syncopation. And with syncopation, it's really hard for us to stay together. It also has a lot of independent parts where like one group will play, then another group will play, and if somebody gets like a millisecond off, then the whole thing it's like a house of cards, and it could go, or it's like Jenga, Jenga. Like it could happen. Okay, we were today. We were like, are we really going to play this today? And I'm like, yes, we're going to do it. We can do this. So they're going to have to be really focused and really locked in to pull this one off. So this is Chili Cheese Dog. Yum. go. Oh, there we go. So there's a little wackiness there at the beginning, but with the good thing was they pulled back together. So I'm really proud. This group, the thing about this group is they have grown tremendously, because I'm telling you, when we started, we were like all over the map. Like we had people who were like, okay, you put one stick in your right hand, and then the other stick, no, not two sticks in your right hand, one in your right and one in your left, so it was, but now they're getting there. They're getting there. So I'm really pleased with the growth. That's the big thing with this group. All right, so part 2 of our kitty cat theme is Jaguar. So we're gonna play Jaguar for you now. Okay, so this next part may be like the absolute highlight of the night. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. So we were really fortunate, because it was not very long ago I got a message from the guidance office said, "Hey, you're going to need a new student." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, we were like 12 weeks into the school year and you're giving me a new student? They're like, "No, wait, but you got to find out about this student." And I was like, "Okay." So I meet the student and I find out all this information. This student is a what do you call it, an exchange student, and he happens to be from Trinidad. And in Trinidad, you may know, that's like where Trinidad, Tobago, that's where all these steel drums were developed. But there's a huge drumming tradition. And this kid, I found out, has been playing since he was like 5 years old. And he has had like 12 years of bongo lessons. And I have never in my life met anybody that has had that many bongo lessons. And I was like, "Dude, we have to feature you on this concert." So I pulled everything together. I got the music together. I got this kid started, and what you're about to hear is just absolutely phenomenal. You're going to go out of here. You're going to be like wowed. So we named the piece after him. His name is Louis. So I want to invite Louis to come to the stage now. This will be the first time you meet Louis. Now, he's generally a little shy, and as you can tell, and we please no flash photography, because that's why he's got the sunglasses on. So this is how he comes into class. He warms up like this every day. So before a big event, he has to prepare his mind and his soul and his body. So if we could just have a moment of silence, please. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Louis? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Louie. Give Louie a hand. Thank you. Performing Bongo Louie. Isn't he just fabulous? Isn't he just a fabulous young man? Yeah, I thought you would enjoy that. All right, we're going to wrap up our portion of the concert with another Randall Standridge cadence called Kick It. All right, so they're going to clear the things in the front so that you can see the steel drums a little bit better when they perform. I personally want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to work with your students. It is a lot of fun. It's great to be a music teacher. It's great to be here in the Richmond schools and work with these kids and see them improve and try new things. Sometimes we put kids on different instruments, and they try new things, and they're a little afraid, but then they try it and they like it. Sometimes they try it and they're like, oh, not so much. Let's try something else. And my goal by the end of the year is to get them just as exposed to as many different percussion instruments as I can. As you can see, the first part of the year we've been really focusing on marching percussion instruments because a lot of kids have an interest in that. And as we move on into next semester, we're going to do more concert-oriented pieces. We'll still do some of the marching percussion things, but we're going to try to branch out and do a lot of different things through the rest of the year and expose them to, stretch them into new directions and things they're not comfortable with. They'll probably come home complaining about, Mr. Merkham's making us play mallets now and things like that, but I don't feel like until they try it and they get into it and they do it some, they're just not going to understand what they're missing. So I want to give them lots of opportunities. So I'm now going to introduce Mr. Simmons, and I believe this is the beginning steel band.
Hello, and welcome to the Richmond High School Percussion and Steel Band Concert. My name is Mark Simmons. I'm the Steel Band Director here. And the group you see before you is the beginning steel band. Many of these students, before this semester, have never played a lick of music in their life. And what you're going to see through the progression of their portion of the program is where we start the year. We start with a very basic tune, and we work on learning how to play the instrument and characteristic qualities of sound from the music that they're going to see later on, and then we get them into the next level. And they learn how to move their hands, and they learn how to play together as a group, and then we take them even farther, and we start teaching them musical concepts and how to play this section loud, play this section soft, play this section again, but a little bit different. So we're going to get started with 2 tunes, and we're going to present them as a set. Feel free to applaud after the first one, Mary Had a Little Soca and Bahia Street Beat. I'm here now. Okay, so as you can see, those two tunes couldn't be more different as far as somebody coming in who hasn't played any instrument or any music. So I'm really proud of the hard work that this group has put in. They show up every day and they really just kind of like knock it out of the park. So before we get moving, yes, the steel band has a Louis as well, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But first, I'd like to recognize a couple students who have really shown up in this class. Like I said, there's a lot of people who are really new to the music scene, and like to show up and get this bright instrument and these two mallets, and you're like, I hit it? What? Like some people, it kind of takes them by surprise. So I have leaders in the class that really like step up. And when I call your name, if you could step out and come up here for a photo op, that would be great. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So these people are Jaden Jimenez Cruz, Cooper Grotkowski. Cooper, right there. Cade Mills. Alex Funk. And Logan Wainwright. These 5 individuals have been like my class leaders who, if I have a student who needs help, I know I can call on one of these guys to show up and to help them. And so I'm really thankful to have them in my band. This band is actually full of potential leaders in here, and they've all come a long way as musicians. So I think I'm done talking now. So you guys can go back to your pans. Hopefully we got some photos. We're going to play our final tune, Dancero. have one more stage transition for the evening. I want to take a moment while we have this transition to say a couple thank yous and talk about some things. First of all, thank you to the Richmond Community Schools administration for their support in making this happen. We are able to provide incredible opportunities for our students, and it's because of their support. The Richmond Music Boosters is the organization that is responsible for hauling all of our students' equipment around when we need to travel to the Indiana State Fairground for State Fair Band Day, or we need to go play a gig on a weekend. They've got the trailer, they've got the truck. If you are a parent of a steel band student, percussion student, band student, any music student, please consider giving some service to that organization. They really, truly make things happen for us. Before we go on into this next segment, I need to recognize some soloists in Bahia Street Beat. We had 3 student soloists. The first one was Taylor Black. Then we had Branson Thomas. And finally was Jason, where you? Jason Moses. Okay, thank you. I don't know where my beginner group went. They were supposed to be over here. You can see what teaching them is like. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears to the advanced band. And the advanced band, see, the cool thing about the steel pan is that we have access to all genre of music, any type of music, new music for the instrument that's written and designed for this music or for this instrument, or other genres like rock, jazz. It all really kind of fits on these instruments really nice. These instruments are actually in what's called a consort, like the orchestra. You got violin, viola, cello, bass. We have similar voices, just different names. Our violin is the lead pan. Our alto is the double second pan. The cello is the guitar, which is also sometimes called the cello, and the bass pans fill in that bass role. So, are we about ready to go? Okay. All right, then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to give you a couple songs in a row. Feel free to show us your appreciation for the Advanced Steel Band. Okay, so like I said earlier, the steel pan is really accessible to all different genre of music. So we kind of took two pieces that couldn't be more different and we put them right next to each other. Next, we're going to get into a high energy part of the program, and we're going to introduce our guest who you've already seen before, Mr. Don Zloty. If we could give him a round of applause. Mr. Don Zloty is the lead alto player for the Richmond Jazz Orchestra, and that's an ensemble that I play in, and I said, hey, why don't we collaborate and come have you play for the kids? And you're about to hear a lot more from him. So before we move on, I'd like to say that these instruments require some maintenance and upkeep. They need to be tuned every year, and one of the factors that goes into the tuning of these instruments, because they're made out of steel, like the oil barrels, 55-gallon oil barrels, saying about this tall. And the steel, when it's forged as the iron barrel, it remembers its life as an oil barrel, right? Coming out of the factory and being filled with oil. It remembers that part of its life. So when the pan maker, the craftsman, takes his hammers and it takes like 2 or 3 months to make a steel pan because you have to progressively dent the top of the oil drum. The pan maker is doing that, and all the while the oil drum is like, I remember what it was like to be flat, and I would like to go back to being flat. And so progressively over time, the pans, they walk themselves back, and so a tuner has to come and like he spends like 12 hours like on all the pans and just like ding ding ding, bong bong bong, ding ding ding. Okay, move on. And because of that, these instruments are pretty sensitive. So like if you touch the underside, it kind of detunes them, or if they fall, like if they get some kind of collision going on. Our stands are old. They're very old, and some of them are missing parts, and we have to make it work. So we are currently fundraising to get new stands. So we just completed a fundraiser, and we literally rounded it up to $1,000. And that $1,000 is going to get us about 6 stands. And so we are going to continue to fundraise for those stands. And as we go through, hopefully you'll see the band evolve, and we will have to, these stands are not super stable, and the pans fall a lot more regularly than I would like them to. So that's why we're really pushing to get new stands for these instruments. So, are we ready to go? Okay, we're gonna get moving on. We're gonna play a little no tune called Jump in the Line. You've probably never heard of it. And then a piece that's written for this ensemble called Don't Dread the Naughty. Okay, so we're here, our final tune of the night. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting our students. Keep an eye out for our next performances. In your program, you have a snapshot of the coming months, and then a couple other things. Since this is the percussion concert, it's appropriate to tell you when the next one is. But right after that percussion concert, the steel band, the advanced band, the whole band is going to be traveling to Oxford, Ohio to play in what's called a Pan Rocks concert. Now, Pan Rocks concerts are super cool and super fun. They take your favorite rock music and they take a 4-piece rock band and then put about 200 pan players on the stage. And it's going to be a blast for the kids. This will be Richmond's first time doing anything like this. There will be tickets for sale. You will hear about those in a band newsletter in January. So look for those, January, February. Look for that information to come out. We really hope to see you out at the Pan Rocks concert because there should be 1,000 people in the audience and 250 people on the stage. And these guys they have no idea what they're in for. This year's Pan Rocks is actually all the music of Rush. So if you're a Rush fan, keep an ear to the ground. So we're going to finish, speaking of rock music, with a little number called Sunshine of Your Love. Thank you again for coming out and supporting our students. Is Tim Shin in the house? Tim, where you at? You thought you were going to... Is he here? Yeah. Okay, so he's back there in the red shirt. If you would like to donate to the drum line or to the steel band, he is the man with the plan. And he's also the one to talk to about joining the Music Boosters. A quick shout out to John Cook, Mike Rogan, and the Civic Hall staff. Without them, we would not have facilities as nice as this, and we wouldn't be able to put on such great productions as we have here in Civic Hall. So if you could please join me in a round of applause for the Civic Hall staff. Before we go, I need to recognize our student soloist, Marin Lau, during Jump in the Line, Lucas Griffin during Jump in the Line, Connor Miller during Jump in the Line, and Don't Dread the Naughty. And can we get a round of applause for Mr. Don Zloty? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.